It's great to be with you all. Thank you to the panel for being here. It's exciting to be in a room of folks that are so excited about transportation and infrastructure. They can talk about it all day, literally, and that's what we've been doing here today. So really appreciate you being part of this. You know, one of the exciting things of being a new member of Congress is connecting with constituents. I've been doing that over the last several weeks, holding town halls, getting out there to local communities, and without fail, if I'm visiting with a town manager, a city council, a mayor in a city mid-size or a real small community, they always bring up infrastructure as their top concern. They have a bridge that's not open. They have a culvert that is inadequate. They have a rail project that needs to be worked on. So I think the folks around the country are really looking to this committee and the work that we're going to be doing to help bring advance the discussion over this in a way that's going to produce benefits at the local level. What we've seen, as the chairman said in his introduction, over the past 10 years or so was a 19% decrease in the federal share of transportation investment. And we have a multi-billion-dollar backlog that exists. At the state level, I've worked on developing our state's 10-year transportation plan. Always more needs than we have resources available. But we felt the pinch of the decreasing share of federal investment. And it's resulted in more deficient bridges at the end of the 10 years than we have at the beginning, not keeping up with the paving, not to mention all the other investments in ports and water systems and things like that that we're not able to adequately address. So one of the bigger picture questions I had for the panel is this. You know, we talk about investment and funding streams that are available. We can also talk about financing projects. And I'm wondering if you could all assess sort of what works best for your interests. Is it financing some of these large-scale projects over time, or is it funding streams that could ensure that we don't crowd out future priorities? I'm thinking in particular of water infrastructure. I don't know if Ms. Lee, you might be able to address that first.
Thank you for the question, Congressman. What works well for Charlotte Water is when we can get those state revolving loans in terms of funding and financing. The last 3 years, Charlotte Water has gotten $83 million from our state revolving loan fund. And what that does for us is that allows us to manage our rates for our ratepayers. So when you think in terms of water and wastewater systems, it's really the ratepayers who are funding and who support our systems. And so just having financing available where we can get grants for the smaller systems and zero to low interest financing for the large systems, like Charlotte, really is very helpful and helps us maintain the infrastructure that we have.
Well, thank you for that, and certainly the backlog is great. I'm interested in hearing from Ms. Mira. I've had a issue in my district. I have the 18 miles of New Hampshire's coastline in my district. There's a harbor that has some real serious shoaling going on to the point where there are many hours of the day where boats can't come in and out. I'm wondering if you support fully utilizing the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund to deal with the backlog that exists of about $2.3 billion of projects.
Absolutely. We have examples like that all around the country where we're just not getting the funding out there that's required to do basic maintenance dredging of these federal channels. All of these channels were constructed for a reason in these communities. They're providing value. We should be out there maintaining them so they can continue supporting the communities, their regions, their states. We've got so many examples back where we live, and it's not just the channels. The dredging ends up being a Band-Aid sometimes because we never get enough funding to take care of the structures that would, in some cases, help reduce the amount of dredging needed. So it's not the most cost-effective way forward, and we are shortchanging ourselves in the long run. So yes, we need to spend that HMT.
Thanks, I hope so. And just for the entire panel, we just have a few seconds left here. I'm wondering if anyone on the panel is earning the same amount of money that they did in 1993, and if you are, could you please raise your hand? That was the last time, of course. Oh.
I'm not paid.
Well, Amtrak's benefiting as a result, but thank you for your service. And how about since 2000? Anyone had a stagnant pace since 2000 on the panel?
Cut off the time machine there, Chris.
Well, thanks. Look forward to the increased investment, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mrs. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being here today to share your expertise with us.